Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of Hive with Travel. As promised, this week we are going to talk about tips for impulsive solo traveling. Like, these are some things that I'm glad that I did, and some things that I learned along the way because this was my first time traveling, as well as long term traveling, just back to back to back for 9, 10 months, not coming or returning to my hometown. So, we're going to go through a few tips that'll make your solo or just impulsive traveling experience easier, whether it's yourself, partnered, or group. These tips will be great for either of those situations. So, we're going to get started with tip number 1. This is like one of my most important tips. Please make sure you shop in bulk before your trip. I mean, like, buy all of your like necessities and little dollar items, or bras, underwear, just things that you're already gonna need on a weekly, monthly basis. It don't have to be underwear and stuff. You can buy that while traveling, but definitely deodorant, toothpaste, hair gels, body wash, everything you're gonna need. Cotton swabs, buy it in bulk. Soaps, face primers and cleansers and things of that nature. Buy enough to the point where you would not need to buy it again. Personally, I would say for the next year. Get enough deodorant, get enough body wash to the point where all you need to do is pull a new one out of your bag. That will cut down on your expenses while traveling because you'll notice the price change in certain items depending on where you are. So that'll save you some money. Tip number 2: always share your location with a friend or your family while you're away, especially if you're in a group. If you're traveling with a group or with a partner, you guys should always have each other's locations no matter what. And if you're solo traveling, then your family and friends back home, someone that you know that you're going to check in with on a day-to-day or weekly basis, has your location in case of an emergency. That's always important. Step, not step, tip number 3: use Google Maps or other online map sources to learn the area of your stay before you go. That's another important one. Since I was just going from location to location and I was going to areas that I had never been to before, never heard of at certain times, I made sure I used Google Maps to map out, a 3 block or more radius north, east, south, and west of my housing accommodation. That way I knew all the local stores, all the local grocery stores, the nearest police department, where the fire department was, um, the nearest doctor, nearest dentist. Like, you just want to know where the basics are, especially if you're going to be somewhere for months at a time. Tip number 4: do not travel to unknown places at night. You would think that is, a just a go-to. People just know not to do that. No. If you have plans for the evening, map out your route during the day. So that way you can actually see what your surroundings are going to look like in case there's anything that catches you off guard, there's an emergency. You just want to know where you're going and you don't want to get caught off guard at night in an unfamiliar city, town, or area. I don't go anywhere that I have not mapped out during the day at night. The best solution for if you just don't have the time to map it out would to do a Google street view of the area. We have so much technology. Just make sure you know the surroundings, the landmarks, things of that sort in case a road gets shut down while, that evening, you got to reroute. You just want to know your main streets that you're going to be taking, the main highways you're going to be taking. So that way, in case something goes wrong, you can get yourself back home. Biggest tip. Tip number 5. Please, pretty, pretty, please. Do not smoke what you did not roll. Since I am a very active smoker, I did not smoke what I did not roll while I was in Cali. And that is just saying because it's such a big state for marijuana. I did not want to come across a situation that I was not prepared for. I'm not a big drinker, so I don't really, have to worry about, accepting drinks that I did not make or pour or see someone make, like a bartender as in someone. So my whole deal was make sure I just smoked my own, and then whoever I hung out with, they smoked their own. Like even if I did see them roll it, I still had no urge to hit their stuff. Like you got yours, I got mine. I mean, if you want to let's do a little swappy swap, I give you a little bit of mine, you give me a little bit of yours. But no, COVID is always a good reason or excuse. But also making sure people respect your personal boundaries is more than enough reason to only smoke what you have and have them smoke what they have. Don't need to, swap germs. No need for that. Or to swap extra drugs that might be in they stuff. Just, safety first. Safety first. Tip number 6. Always, 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 always carry pepper spray and multiple knives. I'm not going to say one knife. I personally like to keep multiple knives on me for any situation at multiple different areas of my body because you never know. Your legs may get tied together, your arms might get tied together. You might need to be reaching right here, back there. The point is to stay safe. Keep multiple self defense mechanisms on you and in your hand while out and about, especially at night. But just have them ready and available at any type of action that may happen right in front of you that you may need to take. Tip number 7. Oh my goodness. I wish somebody had told me this. I wish I had thought of this. Research the wildlife procedures when traveling. And when I say wildlife procedures, every area, every state, every city is going to be different when it comes to the local wildlife and what you may encounter. So the last thing you want to do is be like me and decide to go on a hike and not know that there's a mountain lion loose. Because I ran into said mountain lion. So try not to run into any bears. Try not to run into any mountain lions. But that is also another reason to always keep defense mechanisms with you. Not just for people. It's also for if you come across a sticky situation with a larger animal. Bear spray is another thing to always keep on you when it comes to the wildlife aspect of your traveling venture. Pepper spray, people. Bear spray, so you don't get ate. But be sure you know what you may encounter, when you may encounter it, how long these wildlife situations may be going on. Because when I went to San Jose in August, there was a mountain lion loose for like 3 days. And if I had simply just looked that up, I had known that mountain lion was loose in the exact park I decided to go hike in. So be safe, not sorry. Tip number 8. Find farmers markets in your area. I absolutely adore going to local farmers markets because that is a great way to mix and mingle with the local entrepreneurs in the area to get lower cost produce, and you'll just be able to find different vendors if that's the type of farmers market they have going on in the area, as far as multiple different things, maybe clothing, jewelry, crystals. It's usually a time where different restaurants will come out and they'll have their own booth up and you can get different food. So it's a great way to mingle with the local community, save some money on your groceries, and have a good time. Tip number 9. Especially if you are a solo traveler, only meet new people in surroundings that are familiar and comfortable to you. I say that because you don't want to meet somebody for the first time at night in a restaurant on the other side of town from your living quarters. Just doesn't make sense. So if you're out and about, you are meeting new people and on a more personal level, even if it is a business networking situation, make sure it is in a well lit area, preferably a high traffic area where there's a lot of people, a lot of cameras, a lot of ears and eyes to make sure you are seen and heard if you have an emergency. But that would be the best thing I would tell all my solo travelers if you are taking trips to not only go within, but still meet new people along your journey. And of course, tip number 10, find new restaurants and food to eat. Oh my goodness. I absolutely adore eating new restaurants, trying new ethnicities or cultured foods. Groupon is a great app to use to find coupons that'll discount your meal at restaurants or for activities or even, like little excursions like massages and things of that sort. But when you're in a new town, hop on Groupon and see if they have a lot of different deals. Because for me, like St. Louis, we have so many deals. You can find a new restaurant all the time. So that way you're constantly spicing up your palette of where you decide to eat out with friends, family, or even date night. But while you're out and about traveling, check out Groupon and get you some really good experiences. But there are things that you probably wouldn't even think to do. While I was in Louisiana, I found this glow in the dark bike ride. I wouldn't have thought or even found it if I just hadn't checked on Groupon. They didn't have too many food options, but I thought the activities were really fun. And you'll just find out of the box type of ideas for yourself, your partner, and you, or even your group that you're traveling with. Now, if you want to hear more tips that I have, because there are a few more, well, more than a few, there are some other tips that I'm going to go over that are super important. So if you want to finish hearing some more, that'll be great for you as a solo traveler, partnered travelers, or group. Head over to my YouTube, Hive with Travel, and listen to the rest of this video. And I will see you all on Instagram next week. Now, if you are still here, we are on YouTube. I want to give you a couple of my tips for being a day trip traveler, or if you're going to have a day trip within your layover. I say this because sometimes, going from one place to another, you may have a really long layover if you decide to save some money like me. So there's been a time where I had a 7 hour layover, a 9 hour layover, and I had luggage. So you still want to explore the city. Tip number one, use an app for local luggage storage. Now, I used the Bounce app while I was in Chicago. I was able to just log on, make an account, and see who was charging what per hour to keep my luggage stored for me. And I ended up just putting my storage in a 7-Eleven storage room. They were partnered with Bounce because they have an abundant amount of room. So I was able to explore the city, go grab me one of those Lyft scooters, go grab some stuff to eat, go to a few dispensaries, take pictures and things like that without having all of my luggage with me or unattended or anything like that. Because, yes, you can store your luggage at the train station, or if you have a pass for their like business cafe, they have a storage luggage room. But if the storage is closed with the train station and the luggage storage is full, you're going to need to figure something out. So, a luggage storage app is always going to be a great way to go. If you don't want to use the Bounce app, then simply Google what is the best luggage storage app for the city I'm in. And when I say the city I'm in, then you will replace it with the city you're in. So for me, I would put what is the best luggage storage app to use in Chicago. Then you can get a list of different apps that you can use and their ratings and things of that sort. Tip number 2, use Eventbrite. That is a great way to find different ways to network or just find people that are like minded or just into the same type of activities that you're in, and to find new people just to bounce things off of, m- mingle with. It is a great way to find different things to attend locally, within the city, right outside the city, whether you want to be by yourself, meet new people, go and meet new people as a group, or simply have an activity as a group. Eventbrite is great for that. Now, this one is for my smokers. We Map app. I love that app. Make sure while you are traveling, if you are in a state where it is recreationally legal, use Weed Maps to find really good deals. Now, some people get caught up on the name of, what they're smoking. Me personally, I don't care about the name. I care about the percentage of the THC. So you can sort it out by the percentage of THC, whether it be high to low. And you can even sort it out from prices from low to high. When I did that versus putting in names, I will put in like the amount that I was trying to buy, whether it be 3.5, 7, 14, and then sort it from low to high. I was able to find like $7 quarters and $5 eighths and things of that sort. $1 or 50 cent, doobies. And for me, I wanted to try different strains, different tastes, and different flavors. So I didn't want to buy, big packs. So if I'm constantly buying $5 eighths or $7, quarters, I'm saving so much money. Yeah. For my smokers, there's a little hacky hack. If you just trying to get high and you don't care about the name, look at that THC percentage and sort that stuff from low to high in the price and find you some deals and go collect you a multiple different little packs. If you're already gonna spend $100, might as well split it up real quick. That's all I'm saying. Now, tip number 4. If you are a vegan, this is great. Use Google Maps and in the search bar, type in vegan restaurants. That is a great way to find local, sometimes family owned restaurants as well, because most of the vegan spots are not, franchised, they're not chained. So you're going to get some really good food, something that you're not finding on everybody's menu when you're out and about. And you can also make sure you're still eating plant based and healthy. That's what I did everywhere I was when it was time for me to try vegan food that I did not prepare myself. I loved it every time. I even went to a spot in San Jose. I'll have to look up the name and I'll put in a clip here.
We got a whole free book and a meal. That looks so freaking good. Look at them vegan meatballs. Okay, she got me excited now. What mine look like? It looked just as pretty as I thought it would. Oh my goodness.
But while there, I even got a book for free. They were handing out free books on a table, and then they even had another table where you could buy books. It was such a good just atmosphere. Had, the water jug, the glass water jug, so that way you can refill your own water. Super, super delightful to be in. Even next door, there was a smoothie shop, and everybody was like, inside and outside as far as, table and seating. But find you some really good food and just different food on Google Maps. You'd be surprised how much you can find on that little app alone. And folks, that wraps it up. These are great tips for you to use if you are traveling solo, partner, or even in a group. Stay tuned for more tips for impulsive travelers, solo travelers, day trips, layovers, and much, much more. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. And I believe, what will we be talking about? Hmm. Oh, yes. Next week, we will be talking about how I became a house sitter in 1 week, and then I started to travel nonstop for 10 months. I'm going to tell you how I did it, what I wish I knew before I became a house sitter, and how you can do the same thing. See ya.